Tyreek Hill back again in the news, and things are starting to get ugly. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Fins Tailgate TNN News Edition with your host, El Capitan. Make sure you guys are hitting the like button on your way in and subscribing if you are new. Make sure to also check out TFTGnetwork.com so that you can keep up with all the great things we're doing here with the network. So yes, guys, let's get right into it. Tyreek Hill is back again in the news, and this started with our first episode a couple days back where his court filing proceedings started to leak out little by little. Coming out about the girl that he has a lawsuit with, where she said that after being injured, then they had post-injury relations. Right around that news started dropping out, Tyreek Hill went on a little bit of an apology media tour, taking and walking back some of his earlier statements at the end of the season.
Tyreek Hill in his various interviews was pretty clear.
He's consistent. So I'm looking forward to, just us continuing to build our relationship, man, even more.
I love it.
And this is my public apology.
I love that this is important. So is that what that is? Please.
This is my public apology to you, Tua. I love you, bro.
I'll ask you, do you want to be a Miami Dolphin?
I do. I don't want to go nowhere. I love it. My family loves it. Kids absolutely love being on the beach every morning. So it's an amazing thing, man. We are really building something special in Miami. We made it to the playoffs the first 2 years. Obviously, this year was hard, but if guys continue to buy in, into what coach is building and the culture that he's trying to build, it's gonna be a beautiful thing.
I'm taking full accountability of what I said, man. Like I don't deserve to say anything like that.
Yeah.
Miami Dolphins, they paying me to play this.
Yeah, they've been good to you.
They've been very good to me.
Right.
So why am I going to go out and say some of the things that I said, man? And I fully take it back.
And Tyreek Hill.
And yet, as an absolute stroke of untimely irony, if you will, more of the stuff comes out just moments after the Radio Row apology tour to I'm taking accountability to I'm sorry to I love you. Tyreek Hill admits Miami Dolphins Tyreek Hill says he has a tall girl fetish in court over allegations that he touched a lady inappropriately and she accused him of injuring and breaking his leg via court testimony. Thank you to the Daily Wire for that. The Tyreek Hill fetish continues, and it's just, with all of this stuff swirling around, one has to wonder, is Tyreek Hill a potential guy to be on the trading block? Miami Dolphins in cap problems? Tyreek Hill stomping his feet and whining? Well, let's see.
State this to the point where I'm suggesting that it's going to be over by any means. But the Dolphins definitely have a culture issue to address this offseason, and it starts with their star players, one of which is Tyreek Hill. If you're in a relationship and you get in a big fight and you start throwing around the word divorce, you can't just a couple days later be like, that old thing, I was just kidding around. That didn't mean anything. Because your spouse in the back of their mind is going to start wondering, well, why did you bring that up? And that's going to linger into the offseason. So that's all well and good that Tyreek Hill said that he feels responsible for what he says. It's important to be accountable, but you've got to still wonder what the Dolphins are thinking behind the scenes. No, I don't think that this is necessarily going to lead to a trade because of contractual reasons, among others. But I do think that this is the start of a culture change in Miami, and I do believe it begins with Tyreek Hill. I don't want to...
So a bit of culture changing talking happening here. Not really wondering, not feeling, according to Jeff Darlington, not really saying that there's going to be a trade, but Dolphins got to have a bad taste in their mouth about how Tyreek Hill acted publicly and continued to double down, walking it back in a public manner. But now with all this fetish talk coming up about, it doesn't help out. And if you guys... went back and looked at our old program about this subject, you would see, this is a pattern here with Tyreek Hill. Everyone knows this. And it's starting to rub people the wrong way in the building. Whether things will get worked out or Tyreek Hill will be traded is yet to be seen, but it is certain that people in the organization and fans alike are starting to sour on Tyreek. If you guys look here, we have famed ex-player Joe Rose along with Kim Bocamper, who were talking about this stuff on the Joe Rose show about Tyreek Hill. And when Kim Bocamper was asked, should Tyreek Hill be a captain, he said, I'd be disappointed if the team voted him to be a captain. Now, when we think of captains, we think of leaders, we think of guys that take accountability, as Tyreek Hill said so himself. But that is not the way to be accountable, to talk about, quitting on everybody. And so when it is come up to the discussion on whether or not he should wear the C on his chest, that is a very debatable topic. But do you punish this man? And if you do, are you going to find yourself in another Miami sort of situation like the Heat had with Butler, like other teams get when these superstar athletes that are problematic, like Tyreek Hill has been, with whatever reasons? From the scandals, the lawsuits, the fights, the baby mamas, the nonsense. Do you really want to take that C off his chest and create that problem? Well, I don't know. I do know a lot of ex-players are not happy with Tyreek Hill.
Hear nothing about no frustration. I don't want to hear nothing about no dogs, because you were the dog in the fourth quarter. Jalen Waddle asked you, Reed, you done? You quit. Was that about your family? Was that about being a dog? I don't want to hear a damn thing Tyreek Hill is saying, because Tyreek Hill quit on his team. I don't hear nothing about no frustration.
Man, and again, fans are just as irate about all of this Tyreek Hill shenanigans. It's easy to get away with nonsense and continue to have support from the fans when you're balling out, when you're the number one player in the NFL. But when you follow it up with a season that you don't go to the playoffs, don't get 1,000 yards, and yes, there's a lot of things that really wasn't his fault. And I think in a lot of ways him expressing his frustration, as he admitted to. But his mouth is continuing to get himself in trouble. And this is something that could find himself on the trading block. This is another thing that can give the Dolphins excuses to move on from him. And I don't think Tyreek Hill wants to move on. He said so himself. Him and his family love it here. They love going to the beach. Well, Dolphins fans, let me know what you guys think. Should the Dolphins trade Tyreek Hill? Is his apologies to Tua and the Dolphins fans and everybody alike, is it just empty words? Let me know in the comment sections. Hit the like button on your way out. Tell us how you think or how you feel and what you think about all of this.